A really common question that I get asked from breastfeeding mothers nearly every week is about night feeding. Is it normal that my baby's feeding at night, and how long will it take before he actually starts to sleep longer? Please bear in mind that there's lots of parenting books out there which are very regimented when it comes to sleeping at night, and a lot of these things are not based on evidence. And a lot of these books may even suggest that your baby should be sleeping much longer stretches by 6 months, or even as young as 3 or 4 months. And many mums can become quite anxious about this. And certainly many of us have had these ideas entrenched in our minds for many years, and we have tried desperately to get our babies to sleep longer, thinking that something's actually wrong if they are waking to feed. So first of all, it's really important to know that lots of recent research is helping us to understand babies' sleeping cycles and patterns a lot better. And we know now that it's quite normal for young babies and older babies and even toddlers to be waking up at night. And please bear in mind that health professionals over the years have taught mothers lots of different techniques for helping babies to sleep longer, controlled crying techniques and crying it out techniques. And we know now that a lot of these things have not really been based on good solid evidence around sleep patterns. And it's also important to know that leaving babies to cry, certainly from this latest research, is helping us to know that the levels of cortisol increase. Now that is a stress hormone, which isn't a good thing for babies. So this is a new understanding that we certainly didn't have many years ago. And it's also really important to know that when you're breastfeeding, night feedings can help to maintain your supply and can also cause your baby to get as much as a quarter of his intake. So the truth is, if you and your baby can relax into the nighttime situation rather than trying to fight against it, then this can be a really positive thing. And bear in mind that every baby is different. So I see lots of breastfeeding mothers every week, and some will tell me that the babies have started to sleep through after a few weeks, some have taken a few months, and for others they're still waking up into toddlerhood. And bear in mind that certainly in lactation circles they consider a 5-hour stretch as a full night's sleep. And there's something else to consider when we talk about breastfeeding at night. There is a term called reverse cycling, and that is basically when babies start to take more of the supply at night because of different circumstances. Now it might be that your baby has got to the age where he's starting to get very distractible in the day. That usually happens around about 3 to 4 months, sometimes a bit earlier, and those babies do faffy little feeds in the day and make up the supply at night when it's boring and quiet. It might also be that if you're working during the week, for instance, you've gone back to work, your baby feeds more at night and does this reverse cycling to make up the supply that was maybe lacking in the day. And night feeding is not just about your baby getting nutrition from the breast. Babies come to the breast for warmth, for comfort, and just to hang out. There's a lot of psychology involved as well, and this is part of the norm. And we also know from research that all this wonderful responsiveness to your baby helps to develop security and confidence. Lots of evidence around that for the future. It's also important for you to know that your baby may wake up for lots of other reasons as well. It might be that your baby's starting to teeth before teeth actually come through. Now some babies become very unsettled at that time and may wake up more for the comfort element when they're going through that. So that's one reason. It might be that your baby has an illness, which a cold even, it could be anything like that, ear infection. Any illness can cause a baby to start waking more at night and wanting that comfort at the breast. Might be that your baby goes through a developmental spurt. Maybe he's just learned to roll over or some other developmental thing. And this can be another reason why babies suddenly start to wake more at night. And there's growth spurts where 2 to 4 nights, you'll find your baby feeding daytime and nighttime as well, but this extra feeding then. And I would also really encourage you to look at the video relating to safe sleeping when you're breastfeeding, a really important topic. I really do appreciate that sleep deprivation that comes along with all this frequent feeding at night can take its toll on many mothers. And even from my own experience, I do remember it very well. But it is a temporary time and things move forward, and your baby will fall into his developmental readiness for sleeping.